Hi, I'm Dr. Gayle MacBride. I'm a psychologist, co-owner, and CEO of Veritas Psychology Partners. We can see clients in 39, almost 40 states in our little telehealth practice. Stay with me while I cover 5 tweaks toward your well-being journey. Number one, always number one in my book, boundaries. Boundaries are so important, and specifically, I want to talk about the word no. I remember when I was an undergraduate, I walked into one of my professor's offices and I saw this note card taped onto the wall, and it just had the word no written in red letters above her telephone. And I asked her about it. And it was so striking to me because she told me that she needed a reminder to say no. But in that moment, what I saw was a brilliant and kind senior faculty member telling me that it was okay to say no. And sometimes we're the better for it, especially when we may be overpromising on our skills, ability, or time. So always be willing to say no. Number two, learning something new every day. Being open to learning something every day enhances this idea of good mindset. Good mindset is a mindset that we can get into that really starts to help us shift from problem thinking to solution thinking and really seeing paths forward as opposed to limitations. And that's actually quite good for our attitude, but it's also really good for our long-term brain health, being able to see opportunities for learning and growth on a daily basis. I hold this idea dear. While as a psychologist, I really promote this. I have to tell you, this is something I learned really early in my life. I had an amazing grandmother, and through her 90th birthday, she would tell me, you got to learn something new every day. And she encouraged me to be learning. And I impart that in my own family. We sit around the dinner table and we talk about an opportunity that we had that day, and it's focused on our own growth and learning. Everyone participates. I think that's so important. Number three, unlearn perfectionism. Now, look, I tell my kids that I went through 21st grade. I'm good at school. I always have been, and failure just kind of wasn't a thing that I had to experience really often. And I was pretty lucky in that. But it also meant that sometimes I wasn't as strong at struggling with something as I would like to have been, or I would like to teach my children. And I think as an adult, it's been really important to learn that we don't need to be perfect. We just need to be sort of good enough. In that journey, I devised, a little bit of a plot for my own well-being. I asked for a mug and I received it. It sits on my desk in my office and it says, "World's Okayest Psychologist." And such a switch flips for me sometimes because I remind myself that people are looking for a really good psychologist, not the greatest psychologist. I'm not the greatest psychologist. That's probably Aaron Beck or something like that. I'm never going to be the greatest, but I'm good enough and I'm darn good at what I do. And I'm really proud of that. And letting go of perfectionism has been a really big part of it. Number four, take the time to be clear on what your values are, your personal values. This is the journey that you make through life. And I sort of was resistant to this at first, this idea that there's maybe one or two ideas that really guide our life. And I realized that when I had some time to do that reflective work, pinning down those values really created some interesting threads in my life, and I could see how things were connected both personally and professionally, and really helps me now make very clear-headed decisions. I think being clear on our values really helps us prioritize the right things for ourselves and not trying to use someone else's algorithm for it. And number five, 20 seconds of insane courage. This is the line given by Matt Damon in We Bought a Zoo. And I think this is a great line because it reminds you that just because you have a little bit of an initial fear or that eep kind of feeling, getting past that and doing the thing can be exhilarating and thrilling. And oftentimes the anxiety will sort of melt away as we take on this act of courage and really try something out, maybe for the first time.